Hello everyone and welcome to another video, another approach tutorial. Today we are back in Greece, we're back for more, and we're going to be visiting Corfu. So lovely location. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There we are. So we're going to be departing like the previous time from Athens, and then we're going to fly northwest up to the west coast and into Corfu. Beautiful, stunning location. There's a lot of approaches here. There's only one RNAV and then several VOR approaches for Corfu. They're all relatively straightforward. Well, I would say relatively easy, especially in an Airbus if you use the automatic guidance. But as we know, we don't do that. So we're going to do something a little bit different. Now, I don't know exactly when and why this procedure would be used. Well, generically speaking, one particularity of the airport is that all the approaches, there's only approaches charted for runway 34. There is nothing for runway 16. If you want to land on 16, you need to do a sort of circle to land. So every chart over here has a circle to land, of course, and they're all circle to land from the east. But that would be a fairly straightforward circle to land with the usual distancing procedure and etc. There's another circle to land here, which is a little bit different. So we approach from the side of the runway. The only difference I can see in the chart is a slightly higher minimum. Instead of 2,000, there's a minimum of 1,900. And then after that, as you come down here, you turn left and you do a fairly close-in circle to land. Instead of flying out for however many seconds you would need, here you need to fly out for nearly a minute. Fly out only for 20 seconds, so it's tighter and the descent starts a little earlier. So it's sort of a non-standard circle to land. So we're gonna have a look at that today. And as usual, I will put timestamps in the description of the video, so you can either take the whole flight if you're flying along, or just skip to the MCDU if you want to do the same flight and just make notes of the route, or go and skip to the briefing, or directly to the approach. So I always make full videos, but of course there's the boring bits in the middle that you don't need to necessarily follow. So I will put all the crews as well in the middle, but that I won't do any commenting on that. We'll take a break while the plane is in the air, and then see you back when we start, before top of descent, the briefing for the arrival. And there we are. Let's get going. So let's stepping into a cold and dark Toliss. As usual, I'll be doing the cold and dark very quickly. So this is not an instructional video on the cold and dark, so I'll just go through it, all the steps without omitting anything, but quickly without explaining them. So there we go, engine masters and selector is all off, the weather radar is off, landing gear is down, and the wipers are off. So battery above 25.5, let's bring it on. Now, external power is available, and that is on. Let me see if the volume is loud enough, as there was a comment on one of the latest videos of it not being loud enough. There we go, should be good. Now external power is now on. Let's get the radios on. At this point, the screen's tested, so we do the APU fire test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's all good. So let's go down. Doors, it's all good. We have oxygen pressure, hydraulic fluid is topped up, and engine oil is enough. And then the parking brake is on. 1, 2, 3. Accumulator pressure is in the green. Flaps are 0 and showing 0 on ECAM, and spoilers are retracted and disarmed. Perfect. Let's load the plane. Now our operational flight plan is right over here. And so we'll be flying from Athens to Corfu. That's correct. 70.4 is going to be the zero fuel weight. 70.4, and the fuel is going to be 5.9. Quick refuel. Perfect. That's all loaded. Let's go and do the overhead. Crew oxygen supply, ground control, captain and purse over here. 1, 2, 3. The aiders in a line. Strobe, nav logo, seatbelt, no smoking, and emergency light. Landing gear, landing elevation is on auto at 12 o'clock. Cross bleed is on auto. Pack flow, we have 208 passengers, so we stay on normal. We will go low below 168. The fuel pumps stay off. Engine fire test, we do engine 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 annunciation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. On the cargo panel, flight controls and maintenance, there's no white lights, it's all good. Audio switching is normal. Let's go on the center console. Let's take a look at the 80s. The altimeter is going to be 1019, so QNH 1019. Clock is on UTC on GPS. Anti-skid is on. Yeah, that's good. Let me just load the acres quickly. There we go, perfect. And coming here on the center pedestal, we have the radio is on, VHF1, send and receive, multiscan, GCS, tilt 5, cockpit door normal, all the switching are on normal, the thrust lever is on 0, here 0, parking brake is set, gravity gear extension door is stowed, and here we put on the altitude reporting, system is 1, and we tilt above. That's all good. So the copy preparation is complete to the MCDU OMEC 2 entries. There we go. Perfect. A321 Neo with Pratt & Whitney engines. That's correct. Database is current. March, April. Is it current? Yeah, otherwise it would say. Now, load the plan. We're going to load LGAV Lima Golf Kilo Romeo. Alternate is going to be Lima Golf Tango Sierra. Flight number is Olympic 280. So this would be normally a flight flown with an ATR, so with a turboprop plane. But I believe at a certain point Airbus, well, probably still now, Airbus are landing there. I don't believe the runway is particularly short. It's not as dramatic as Skiathos or anything like that. What is? Let's see, the runway is, plenty for anything. 2,400 meters nearly. So yeah, pretty much anything can fly there. Actually, this one, Olympic Air 280, should be, let me double check, all 280. Yeah, it does say dash 8 actually, not the ATR, it's with the dash 8. But I'm sure Airbus land there anyway. Now, cost index for today is going to be 21. Cruise level 360. Align the IRS. Let's go on the flight plan. Departure from LGAV. We have runway 21 left. And we're going to go on the flight plan. By the core 1 Foxtrot. Departure. Transition none. And then the arrival, we don't follow what it says here, is going to be different, and the arrival is going to be what it says. Let me see, I'll show you there. The arrival is going to be, there we go, the partner 1 Papa arrival onto the VOR A approach. There we go. So LGKR, no. LGKR here, arrival. It's going to be VOR. Here we calls it 17 and 35 instead of 16 and 34. It's fine. VOR 17 Alpha. Yep, that looks all right. And we said that the star is going to be the Parn 1 Papa. Via. Let's check the chart of the Parn 1 Papa. Yeah, via VMAT. Should be correct. VRA. Yeah, on Navigraph it doesn't give the option of VMAT, but it should be via VMAT because that's the last point of the star. Transition and temporary flight plan. There we go. Let's go and have a look. Flight plan. Yeah, perfect. That makes sense. Yeah, fantastic. Now, second flight plan, we copy the active. Let's go from DDM. We come back to LGAV. The weather is good enough, so we don't need a departure alternate. We can come back here and arrival will put, I don't know if they will use a different, we'll use one of the two for arrival and the other one for departure. It's fine. We'll put 1, 2, 1 left. No star, no via. No transition. Insert, second flight plan, performance. And we go to the approach page. And let's get the 80. So 1019. Temperature is 16 and wind 211. 16, 211. MDA, let's check for LGAV. Well, let's get all the charts we need. So airport, departure, we said that is the core 1 Foxtrot, and then arrival, no, approach 2, 1 left, and the NDA is 503. Next phase, we have thrust reduction acceleration 1000 feet above airfield, so 1310 and 1310. And engine out acceleration is the missed approach. Stop altitude of 5000. Perfect. We don't need that one anymore. So the plan is there. Second flight plan, right nav, nothing. We just leave it to auto tune. In it B, we have 70.4, and we always check it with the flight plan, making sure it's correct. Yeah, 70.4. 28.5. The zero fuel weight CG. Block fuel 5.9. 5.9 is there, and 5.9 is loaded. Let's check the winds before we look at the fuel figures. It's not giving us the wind yet. Okay, it's fine. Let's do the fuel figures. So for the contingency 0.7, the reserve, alternate diversion is 1.6, and the final, so the reserve is 1.2, and we have perfect fuel. Lovely. There we go. Then proc page, we put LGAV 2, 1 left, so the threshold of the runway that we need to come back to if we have an engine failure, and the performance. Let's check if it's going to be an intersection. 2, 1 left. No, we're going to go full length. Oh, that's 4,000 meters. That is a lot of runway. But it's fine. We're very close. It's not going to be a very long taxi, so it's fine. Let's go full length. So flaps. It's 1 and down 0.2. It's a neo, so we need to enter this down 0.2. Only on the neo, on the CO there's no need. Next temp is 5.6. Engine acceleration, we said, did we say 1? Yeah, that's correct. 1.3. Don't know sometimes this where it takes the figures from, but 1.310. It believes the airport is an elevation of 210 because it's adding 500 here, but I don't know. One three ten, perfect. Speeds 148, 148, 151, and takeoff performance is correct, is loaded, and everything is good. Perfect. Now we finish our cockpit preparation. Check that the here at the PFD and every indication makes sense. QNH is 1019. Here and there, the constraint, we're going to need them. Flight directors on both. We're not going to need ILS. You might on departures, again, with very low visibility for fog. You might need the ILS to make sure you can stay on the center line on takeoff by using the indications on the PFD. Speed and heading are dashed. Initial climb altitude. Let's see if there's an indication here. Transition is 9,000. Doesn't say. Many charts give you an initial climb altitude on the chart. This one doesn't. Let's need to be at 6,000 at least there. So let's put 6,000 there. So that's all ready. Let's go here and check. Pressure page. Landing elevation is always automatic, but we double check it. It's 10 feet and it's 5 in Corfu. Status, nothing there. And then on the MEC2, we check the position monitor in the data page and all the IRS are aligned in nav. Perfect, that's all good. Let's start the APU. We can also dismiss all the ground handling stuff. Let's close the doors. There we go. Let's call pushback.
Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving
Perfect.
up.
While the APU is starting and pushback is coming, we can do a briefing. No, actually, let's leave it there for a second. Okay, there we are. Quick briefing. So today we are traveling from Athens to Corfu. There's no mail items for the plane. OEBs are not applicable. The threats, nothing particular on departure. In terms of weather, it's a lovely day. A little bit of wind, 211 knots, but nothing. Worrying clouds, if you're at 3,000. Weather en route is good. Visibility is great, so we can come back to Athens if we have any problems.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Perfect, that's it. Now we are parked over here. And we're going to be pushing back facing southeast and then taxi via Charlie onto Delta. Yeah, all the way down to Delta. Well, Delta 12 is absolutely fine. 421 left, that's confirmed. 4,000 meters, so standard departure. Flaps on. Now, let's have a look here. Today we are on an A321-200, as we said. We're probably with the engine, so be careful of tail strike. The database is current and the performance is loaded.
Release parking brake.
In the page we have Athens and Corfu. We're going to be Olympic 280, cruising a flight level of 360. The weights are enter 17.4, zero fuel weight, matching the flight plan. Block fuel is 5.9, matching the flight plan, and loaded and balanced. We then have a flight plan page over here, departing 21 left onto the core 1 Foxtrot departure, which is here on chart 10-3 Lima, effective 25th of September 2020. We're going to be departing straight out. There's a initial turn. Yeah, initial turn, just a few degrees. Maximum 210, but that's not going to be more than that because it's straight away. Then we're going to be climbing to the next waypoint. We need to be at least at 6,000. The constraint is there. D203 on the radial 203 way at the W, which is 23 DME, and we're going to be already at 14,000. For the rest, restriction at DDM of there's a constraint of speed constraint at DDM 210. No. Let me see. Core climbs 212 runway axis. Turn right DDM VOR. No, I'm going to delete that. Being at 210 over here, which is that would be like 50 miles. Nope. We're going to clear that speed constraint. It's fine. Don't know if in reality it would be there. It's a very long distance. We would be already at 21,000 feet, still doing 210 knots. No, thank you. We'll leave 210. And for the rest, everything okay. The length is 296. The plan says 255, but we're doing... Yeah, compared to what I've entered in SimBrief, we're doing a very long. We've seen the arrival, the star is very long, and the procedure comes from the west. So yeah, we're at quite a lot of miles, and that's all good. Then right now, AutoTune proc page, we have 364 optimal, and we're cruising at 360, so we know we're good. We've entered Athens 2-1 left in case we need to come back. Performance 2-1 left, full length, flaps 1, flex temp is 5.6, and the speeds are 148, 148, 151, and clear speed is 226. And thrust reduction acceleration is standard. Then have a fuel prediction of 3.7 on arrival, and the plan says 3.4, so we're good. And secondary for the plan is loaded. Lovely. Let's get ready to get out of here. APU, it is nice and warm, so you can start the APU bleed. We always leave 1 minute of APU running before starting the APU bleed. That's to make sure that the APU is nice and hot. We burnt any oils or anything, and the seals have had time to expand with the heat, and there's no possibility of fumes or anything nasty getting into the cabin. So that APU bleed is on. External power goes off. We ask the ground crew to disconnect it. The fuel pumps come on. And at this point we can do the before start checklist. Copy preparation has been completed. Power F is 1019. Set 3 times. ACAS initialized. Parking brake is on. Fuel on board is 5,900 kilos. And all these things, we checked them here. Parking brake, 5,900 kilos. NAB has been loaded. Flex temp is, we said 5.6, and speeds 148, 148, 151. And we're good. Let's get the start clearance. Beacon goes on. Cockpit door locked. We would have put a squawk once we asked for clearance, and then we put transponder to XPDR. We check that the doors are closed, and we can see that the cabin door at the back is still open. Let's put everything on auto. There we go, the doors are closed. We'll wait for the slide to arm. And that's all good. Now start clearance. We will be asking for pushback and start clearance, and then we do before start checklist below the line. Signs are on and auto. Seatbelts and no smoking are here. Beacon is on. Transponder is on exponder, and we're showing TCA standby. Noseway steering disconnect is disconnected. Windows and doors are closed, and flight deck door is locked. Perfect. We're ready to push. Let's disconnect. Not disconnect, yeah. Parking brake goes off, and we can push.
Start stack, and you may start engines.
Engine mode selector goes to ignition. These are Pratt & Whitney's, so we have the cooling time to avoid doing it, spending 47 seconds every time we start an engine. We just go and press the dual cooling. I swear this was written here. It's not there anymore. Might be again a livery issue. We just press that, and now we have dual cooling, and they will cool down at the same time. We have bleed pressure 41, so we can start engine number 2. We need to wait until the cooling time gets to 0, and then it will start the engines.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Let's set parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And let's start engine number 1.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
You start on engine number 2. Let's start the chrono for the warm-up time. 3 minutes on the Neo engines. Pushback tag is gone. And we can go mode selector back to normal. APU bleed off. We don't need engine anti-ice. APU off. Ground spoiler armed. Radar trim 0. And we set that the stabilizer trim was down 0.2, so 29.1. It should be Round about there, 29.1, and flaps 1. There we are. We didn't see that, but I was aware for a second. There were some text files in the livery that changed this text, so the dual cooling is now there, and hopefully these buttons now, yeah, show orange, the right color. Perfect, that's all sorted. Let's get clearance for taxi and a runway turn off and nose taxi light, and we can go clear left, clear right. Let's get out of here. Brake check, pressure stays on 0, so we're good. Let's do flight controls. Full up, full down, neutral, full left. Full left, full right, neutral, and then rudder left and rudder right and neutral. So we're going to taxi on Delta, so we can turn here on the left. All clear. We're away from the apron, so we can put the weather radar on, PWS auto, transponder on TARA, terrain on ND is not a big problem, so we're putting only for the FO, and we put auto brake max. Street cap, I'm gonna go straight ahead, turn straight to 202, whatever it was. Yeah, 203, and keep climbing. Stop altitude is 6,000, transition altitude is 9,000, and we have an MSA of 3,500, so we'll be clear of that pretty soon. Then we'll turn right to the VOR and right to the NDB. Do a before takeoff checklist. Flight controls have been checked. TCAS is TRA. We're showing TA only on ND. Load sheet is acknowledged. Trims 29.1 and 0. Departure brief has been confirmed. Takeoff data. We have departure 21 left, full shift, and we have 148 magenta, 148 blue, 15. I'll start again. 148 blue, 151 magenta. Climb nav blue, 152, 6,000, and flex 56. Then flaps is 1 plus F green and 1 blue. And ICA memo. Take off, no blue, just the cabin to be advised. There we go, cabin crew seats for departure. You will forgive me, I've done orthos all with Google, and Google for some sort of reason kind of pixelates all around the airports like they were all military airports. But yeah, I don't like particularly Bing, so I've just done the whole of Europe with Google. I should redo individual tiles in Greece with Bing. There we go, 2-1 left, confirmed. Let's get strobe on, landing lights, pretending we got clearance. And packs off. So before takeoff checklist below the line, we have takeoff runway 21 left confirmed. Coming cruising has been given and packs are off. Engines are warm. We're at 7 minutes. We can reset the chrono. The brake temperature is below 150. We're good. There we go. Not a very precise alignment, but we have 4 kilometers, so we can waste 10 meters. It's fine. There we go. So let's pull up 50%. Start the chrono. Take off. Man, flex 56, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Always check the takeoff thrust is set, so 81.2 matches what's here in the corner. 100 checked. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Gear up. Onto the flight directors. Do this first turn manually, and then we'll put autopilot after that. Recommending thrust climb, lever climb, but we always wait for the speed to be increasing, so we see the yellow arrow there. Now we can do that. And we have thrust climb, auto thrust. When thrusting back on climb, we can start the packs again. Ten seconds in before packs. Now go autopilot. Autopilot 1. Pack 2 back on. And now we just wait for the flap. Retraction speed. Climbing 6,000, we can clear ourselves. Well, let's wait a minute. And the flap 0. On the 321, the flaps come up automatically. So when you set flap 0, it's only the slats that you're actually retracting. Once the flaps are up, we can disarm the spoiler and turn off all the lights.
2,500.
Let's clear ourselves to cruise level. Set standard. Standard set and cross checked, and we have Alt Blue 360. Here we are, we're at 10,000 feet, so we do an altitude check. Flight level 101, climbing 360, standard set. Lights, we check all off. Seatbelt can go off now. We put airport over here. Range of 40 is good. And then on the Mach 2 nav, we check that nothing was hard-tuned. Prop page optimal 365, and we are on 360, so that's okay. Let's put the arrival, which is going to be LGKR. LGKR. And then we thought it was 16, but it should be coded probably as 15. No, the charts say that is weird. LGKR. I know, what's in the Mach 2 saying? No, where did I read 15? Oh no, 17. Oh, but here it calls it 34 on the VOR, while here it calls the VOR 35. Runway 16 and 17 here. Okay, that's confusing. Lovely, so that's all done, and the fuel prediction is 3.7, so that's still the same, and secondary flight plan, we just copy the active. Perfect. Well, it's time to go for a break, and I'll skip ahead to just before the top of the descent, 100 and 120 miles before the top of the descent, when we're gonna do the briefing. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, there we are, 63 miles on top of the descent. It will be enough. We're at 36,000. We can do the briefing as we descend, otherwise it's going to be way too much time. Now, let's start entering the data on the Perth approach page. So the weather on arrival. Let's get the 80s. LGKR. So QNH is 1020. Let's put it on the standby first on 1020. Then here 1020. Temperature is 14. And winds 0 at 0 knots. Fantastic. So we can do anything we like. Now, well, let's get the arrival chart first, and that we said is going to be Barn 1 Papa. Barn 1 Papa, perfect. The approach is the VOR and the airport chart. Perfect. So the MDAs, we said 1,900, and then for the go around, the elevation we said is nothing. So let's do 1 3010. And the engine at acceleration is the missed approach, which is 4000. Perfect. Now, let's check the waypoints, altitude and everything. On the arrival, there's no constraints. Nothing there on the chart. Let's see, Parna is the first point. We're going to lose here 5,000 feet in 11 miles. I hope we have a strong headwind. Yes, so we can. We would normally, rule of thumb, we would need 3 times the altitude we're losing. So 4,500, we would need 13.5, but we have 64 knots of headwind, so we need less. Then we need to lose 11 in 30, and that's okay. We need to lose 1 in 4, 5 in 16, 3 in 9, and that's good. Then 2.5 in 14 miles, but we need to lose 60 knots, so we need that extra mileage there. 5 in 2, we need to lose 2.5 in 9. We need to lose 1 in 3, and we're good. And then VMAT, just before the approach, we're going to be at 4,000. Over here, VMAT, we need to be at 4,000. Let's see what's the constraint. 4,000 plus. And then after that, at the final approach point here, 3,240. That's not correct. It should be 2,800. Very often it puts the plus there, which if we were to descend in final approach, I'm sure it would be okay, but we're going to do things manually as usual, as we like to do that. And so we're going to put 2,800 there. We're going to be at 4,000 at VMAT. We're losing here 1,200 in 5 miles, so there's plenty of time to slow down. 1,200, we need 3.5. We have one, well, not plenty of time actually. 1, 2, we need 3.6. 1.4 to slow down. So at VMAT, we're planning to be at 203, so we'll need to be already practically flaps 2, because if I'm not mistaken, 211, well, now we shed some weight to 208 is our S speed, so the minimum speed with flaps 1. At VMAT, we want to be already at flaps 2 at this point. We want to be at 203. VMAT will be how long? 15 miles from the VOR. No, there's probably no need. No, there's no need to be already flaps 2, because from here we have 10 miles to go to the VOR. The MDA is going to be 1,900, so we need to lose only 900 feet in 10 miles. So 9,000 feet in 10 miles, we have an extra 7 miles. That would be enough to lose 70 knots. So I would even dare say that we don't even lose that. We have an extra 7 miles, 70 knots. No, let's do that. Let's activate the approach phase at just before VMAT, so we can start slowing down to green dot, but then we stay at green dot, and on the way down to the VOR, we'll put flaps 1 and 2, and then gear down and 3 just before the VOR. Then the procedure, I couldn't find any written procedure or any charts or anything explaining the procedure. I only found a post, something written by a pilot. Don't take this as gold. It is by a pilot, but it didn't even say on which plane they use it. I recreated it and it works perfectly. But yeah, take it as a pinch of salt. It does work. It's for the simulation. I cannot guarantee that is exactly what they would do in an Airbus. But the procedure was going down to the VOR. Of course, like all visual approaches, is going to be early stabilized, so we're going to be geared down at flaps 3. At the VOR, which is on top of the airport, what we're going to do is to just continue on the same heading at 77 for only 10 seconds. Now, normally on a normal circling, You get aligned with the runway, you stop at the MDA, then you turn 45 degrees and you continue for 30 seconds. But here we're going straight, so we need a lot less. So we're going to do only 10 seconds. And then after 10 seconds, we turn north. We turn runway 34 heading. And then from the moment we are wings level, we are going to count 20 seconds and then turn back onto the runway. Now, normally on a circling approach, the time you fly this way would be from the threshold 3 seconds every 100 feet you need to lose. So the MDA here is 1900. So let's start the descent here. 1 second. Let's descend 10,000. And we go in minus descent. Descent, alt blue, flight level 100. So as I was saying, there's 1900 feet to lose. 3 seconds every 100 feet to lose is the time you fly. From the threshold, you continue flying on the downwind leg. So that would mean flying downwind for 57 seconds in case of this approach. But they don't do that probably because there is terrain ahead. So we would fly only 20 seconds. That's a lot less than we're supposed to. Or was it 30 seconds? I think, no, it's 30 seconds, sorry. It's 30 seconds, not 57. So it's practically half. Now, normally, then the descent is started when you fly your 57 seconds. In this case, you then turn left and you start your descent. But because here we're flying out only 30 seconds, we will need to start the descent almost immediately. So we will start the descent. I've calculated it roughly. So if we needed 57 seconds to complete the full descent, let's add 30 seconds to the inbound and then 20 seconds to the outbound. So we will start descending roughly 10 seconds after we start heading this way. And then another 20 seconds and then we turn around. But there's a lot of numbers now. You'll just see it then when I do it. And that's it. And then on the way down, we put flaps full. Then we turn around and we go to land. Now, anything particular to note here? We're going to need a VOR 108.8, so we can hard tune that one already. That's the GAR, that's the one we use. At the moment we're auto-tuned here because we are en route, so it's using this one. But let's hard tune already the Garitza VOR. We don't need any course because then this is going to be manual. ADF we don't need anything, and ILS we're not going to have it. Now, here what I say. Final approach course 77 this way, and then let's make a note of the course that we need for the downwind and then for the base and for the final. So if we check over here, so the downwind is going to be heading 345. Well, the base we don't need it. It's quite a tight turn, so we're going to be on high, I would say 25 degrees turn all the way, so we don't need to actually fly a base leg. So we're not gonna do downwind, base and final. We're gonna be downwind, turn at 25 degrees of bank straight and coming back. So it's a tight circuit. NDA 1900. The MSA is going to be 8,200. 4,500 is this side where we are descending through the arrival, and then 8,200. But will be visual, otherwise we wouldn't be making, of course, at this point on the VOR at 1,900. Here, that's the missed approach point. So that's when we need to make a decision. If we were in visual by then, we would be in trouble for two reasons. One, because we have an MSA of 8,200 there, and B, because, well, we're not allowed to land at that point. So this is the missed approach procedure that we need to fly if we're not visual by then. But the 80s tells us that there's only a few clouds at 2,500, so we should be good today. In case the misapproach for any reason, we'll turn right onto track 159, intercept the radial 114 coming out of the GAR VOR, and then when passing radial 182, no, then turn right, intercept and follow to 20 DME arc. Okay, perfect. And when passing the radial 182, we intercept the 226 coming out of... This would be interesting to fly manually. There's a DME arc tuning on two different VORs and two DME arc. Wow. That is really interesting. Turn right, intercept and follow the 23 DME arc. When passing radial 251 from KRK, turn right, intercept the 256 inbound to BEDX and hold. Wow. That is an interesting one. Well, of course, the plane would be flying this one all completely automatically, but you could do it manually as well. Okay, that's it, and everything goes according to plan. We'll go and land on runway 16, and we'll have 2,300 meters off runway, so auto brake low is enough. Slope, there's no slope, it's flat, 6 feet there, 5 feet there. So we're all good, and we'll land here, and then we'll need to backtrack. It's no taxiways, and we need to backtrack all the way to the terminal. Lovely. So what I'm gonna do, as I was thinking and doing some calculation now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw into the video this missed approach procedure flown all manually without, not in nav. We'll do everything manually. I think this is very interesting. But first I'll do the landing, and then I'll reload the situation just before the approach, and I'll do all this procedure. This is really cool. Okay, yeah. Take the challenge and we'll do this one. Let's continue our descent. Here we just leveled off to bleed the speed, so to obey the 250 below 10,000 constraint. We're at 10,000 feet, so we can put the seatbelts back on. This is constraint. ILS, we don't need it. We're on VOR. We cleared ourselves to 3,000, so we can put the QNH already. 1020. We didn't slow down enough. You can see the profile went below us. We can help decelerating a little bit with some spoilers. There we go, store the spoilers. We're back on track and in the right speed. With this end, we already switched to destination QNH, so we can do the approach checklist. And the beacon status says checked. Approach briefing, runway 16 confirmed. Minima is set 1,900 barrel on both, and approach phase is not active yet. We'll activate it in a minute. And then barrel ref is 1020 on both and cross checked. For now, we've seen 4,000 magenta instead of our 3,000 there, because we have the constraint. On the arrival, there we are. We're at 245. The deceleration point, so the approach phase is going to activate here. We could activate it a little earlier, but we're already on idle, so that's not going to make a big difference. But let's see if 29 is complete idle. You go on performance page, activate the approach phase, confirm. Yeah, we've lost a couple, 3% on N1, so might slow it down a little bit. At VMAT we have 6 miles, and we'll be at 4,000, so we need only 3 miles to get down, and we'll have another 3 miles to slow down, so we don't need brakes, we don't need to worry about slowing down enough to put flaps 1. We have 1 knot of tailwind, so that's not a problem. There we are, we're a green dot now. You can see we're even spooling up now. So we don't want to put flaps 1 yet. Let's put the final altitude, which is going to be our missed approach altitude, 1,900. We're in a good state. It's green dot. We know we have plenty of time to put flaps 1. To put flaps 2, the VFE will be 215, so it won't take much from 222 where we are then to be able to put flaps 2. So we can wait a little longer. We still have 11.5 miles to go to the VOR. We're pitching down, so it's a good idea to put flaps 1 now, so we don't increase the speed too much. But it's fine, this is the level of point, and we still have all this to bleed the speed and be on flaps 3 and gear down. Good idea to save now, so we can then come back to do that go around procedure.
2,500.
We level off as soon as we're below VFB next. We put flaps 2.
2,100 above.
And now the next action is, as we said, at the VOR. Before the VOR, we'll pull track, so we make sure we continue straight. And at the VOR, we start the chrono, and we'll fly out for 10 seconds. After 10 seconds, we'll turn left to head to a track of 345, which is the downwind leg. Input flaps 2 now.
Terrain. Pull.
GPWS is really annoying. Okay, we can go gear down. With gear down, we arm the spoilers.
Minimum.
Remember, we won't be on top of the VOR when the mileage is 0 because, well, we're 1,900 meters high, 1,900 feet high, so it won't read 0, but we'll know that we're on top when this needle swings around. Can put flaps 3. And let's put flaps full already. It's fine, auto thrust will pick up. Flaps full, cabin check, and we're good. Gonna be busy, so I'll set already 4,000 for the missed approach altitude. If we don't pull or push, nothing's gonna happen. We're gonna stay in halt. Now let's pull truck. The chrono is reset, ready to go. Once the needle swings past us, we're on top of the VOR, which is exactly at the airport over here. So we said we needed 57 seconds normally of downwind before starting to go down. We won't have that. We'll have only 30 seconds on the inbound, so we'll add 27 seconds of the downwind. 10 seconds, we can start going 3, 4, 5. So again, to recap, 1900 feet. You need 3 seconds every 100 feet, so we will need 57 seconds outbound on the downwind, so this on the way up, and then 57 seconds down. We have only 30, so we add 27 seconds on the downwind leg of descent. So once we're wing levels now, we'll restart the timer for 30 seconds. But after 3 seconds, we'll already start going down. So let's start the chrono now. Deactivate the autopilot. We're at 3 seconds and let's start going down straight away. There we go. 3 degrees down. We're following the blue line here, which means we're tracking what we input, what we put there. "30 seconds, and we can turn left between 25 and 30 degrees. And we keep coming down. Be careful not to increase your rate of descent too much. Let's keep going down at around about 3 degrees. Fortunately here we cannot really look out the window too much. For white, we can see them now, so we can increase a little bit the rate of descent. 1000 we are, well, yeah, as stable as it gets. There we are, 1 red, 3 white. We're good. Keep it going, don't go more than 1000 feet per minute. We'll intercept, there's no rush. Technically, descending more than 1000 feet per minute means you're not stable and you need to go around. There we go. We caught up. And we now keep it coming down at 3 degrees. Ideally, you will swing this one back to 165 when you do the turn, but it's, especially with a zoom, it's very dangerous. That's why you have 2 pilots, so I prefer to do it with visual anyway, so.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
1,500 meters. Here we go, reverse a green. Manual braking. "70 knots. Reverse idle. technically we're not in the touchdown zone, but it's not depicted correctly. You don't have the markings in this airport, so that didn't really count. And welcome to Corfu. Corfu. Get the APU started. Stow the spoilers, flaps up. You can go weather radar off. Probes can come off. Landing lights off. TCAS and we put the exponder. And after landing checklist, exterior lights are set, flaps are 0, ground spoiler is disarmed, APU is started, radar is off, and TCAS is standby. TCAS standby on ECAM. Let's turn in here. Turn off, taxi light off. Accumulator pressure is in the green. We're good. There we are, parking brake. Engines off. Cockpit door unlocked. Seatbelts off, beacon off. Fuel pumps off. And transponder 2000 and stand by. There we go. We've made it in one piece to Corfu. So now we're going to go and have a look at the landing replay, and then I'm going to fly that go around procedure manually. So if you want to learn a little bit about VOR tracking and DME Arcs, this is a perfect opportunity. You normally fly one. I've never seen flying two in the same procedure, so that's going to be interesting. I've done a lot of scribbling down. Let's see if I can scribble it down somewhere so that you can have a look at the plan. There's no way to write anything. Is there a way to write notes here? Yeah, there is a way, but it would be nice if I could see the instructions for the VOR as well. Anyway, I'll do it once we load up. I'll pause and then we'll discuss the go around procedure. For now, I'll, as usual, I'll say bye now, and then we're going to go and have a look at the replays. But then stay tuned if you want to see that go around procedure. So thank you very much again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you'll enjoy coming to Corfu. And as usual, if you need anything, let me know in the comments. And if you like the video, like, subscribe, and I'll keep making content if you like. Thank you very much again for being on board, and see you soon. Bye now. Okay, there we are. So we're back. I just went down with stable just before the VOR config full, ready to go around. We have a look, having a look at the chart here, and we'll make some notes. Now, let's put this one here. I normally, when I have such a complex procedure, I write everything down, of course, and every single step. So in this case, I'm writing down on a piece of paper. First turn will be 159. So turn right onto track 15. So we'll be in track FBA. We'll track 159. After that, we will go and intercept the radial 114 from the VOR. Once we're intercepted there, we'll keep flying. At DME 18, we need to start a 20 DME arc from GAR. So what's that gonna mean? It means that we need to follow all the radials that come out of GAR until we are on the radial 182. So the way we do that, if we have this line that goes here, 114, the chart tells us that we need to end up on the radial 182. So the way we do, we keep our Mach 2 to the side. We keep it on the RATNAV page. Sorry, in pause, I cannot change it. Okay, we keep it on the RATNAV page. And once we are at this 18 DME, as per the chart, we then start the turn. So we need to end up on the radial 182. So to do that, we just do increments of 10. So we want to go and capture the radial 124. And to do that, from here, we need to fly 90 degrees towards the 924. So on paper, then it looks simpler than it is here. So the first thing you do is you set 124 in the course, and you turn 90 degrees of that, which is 214. So from here, we'll turn 214. So we will be heading, we're not doing a DME arc, a circle. We're going to be doing a whatever hexagon multiplied by 6 it is. So every 10 degrees, we make a 90 degrees turn. So at this point, we're flying this way. Once we are intercepting this radial, we change and we go and find the 134. To go and find the 134, we turn another 10 degrees. So you add 10 degrees to this one. It's very simple because all you do, you add 10 degrees onto the course and you add 10 degrees onto your knob. So you come now to 224, which is still 90 degrees from that. And you now go this way and then 144. And, well, you guessed it, 234. And it's and you keep doing that until you are at 182. So we'll do 144, 154, 164, 174, and then 182. The last heading will be 90 degrees. So 272. And that's it. And after the 272, we have another step. We need to intercept the 226. We said that we intercept radials always with a 30 degrees of intercept angle. So that's 226 plus 30, 256. So after the 272, we'll be flying 256. And we're going to intercept that 226. At that point, we will be flying on a heading of we will be tracking 226. Once we get to 21 DME, we'll start the same procedure, another DME arc. So we're on 226, we then follow the 236, the 246, and once we're at the 251, we'll then turn to intercept the 256, which is actually the 76 inbound to Kilo Romeo Kilo. So again, 30 degrees intercept, so we will be turning to 46 and we intercept the 76. It's a lot of number. I hope it makes sense. It's once you get your head around it, it is a lot easier than it sounds explaining it like this. So of course I wrote down all the steps. So I wrote down 159 tracking, then 114 tracking the VOR, 18 DME. I wrote down heading, so moving the track to 214 and putting 124 in the box, and so forth and so on, every single step. And let's see if this works. I haven't tried it, first time. Let's see if it works. Okay, so let's get ready. Now, let's imagine we have low visibility or we have low clouds. We cannot do this procedure. The minimum is 1,900. We cannot descend below the minimum. We decide to go around. So we wait for the missed approach point, which is at the VOR, and then we start the missed approach procedure. So let's put the missed approach altitude, which is 4,000 feet. Bring this up, and then we'll need to start this turn 159. There's no rush, quite a tight turn, so we want to give ourselves time to do things, especially single crew. Now we're nearly at the VR, so let's put track FPA, let's pull to maintain the same track, otherwise it will flow the procedure automatically, and we want to do it manually. There we go, we're at the VOR, we can start the go around. So go around flaps 3, let's put toga, man toga, open climb, go around track. We're going straight away in lever climb. We have positive climb. Gear up. Above F, flaps 2. We're now alt blue 4,000. At this point, we can back into track and we can turn 159. We're above S speed, flaps 2. And let's pull track 159. Here in the box we have the radial 114, and then we'll turn to VOR on the ND to track that 114 out, as it says here. Flaps 1. Not flaps 0, sorry. There we go. So the usual trick I do, just to make sure we're tracking the VOR, let's keep following the needle with this cursor. We'll overshoot a little bit. It was quite a tight turn, and then we could just go in and go and get it back. I find it very easy to simply make sure this cursor is always following the line. It's the easiest way for me to track it. Needle is slightly to the left, and we keep slightly to the left of what it should be. So 112 instead of 114. When the needle is in the middle, we'll just put it back to 114. Remember, the Airbus doesn't track VOR, so you need to keep adjusting the track yourself. Even if the track is 114 and you have selected 114, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to follow it. So you need to keep checking on it, because it might still be half degrees offset, 1 degree, and it might move as you go along. So keep making corrections. So here it's moving ever so slightly to the left, so you could put 113 for a second, then put it back to 114 when we're happy with that. Now we need to wait for 18 DME, and then we'll start tracking the arc. So when we get to 18, as we said, we will enter 124 in the box here in the course, and we'll go 90 degrees right of that. So we'll head in, we'll do 214 here. And of course the turn is at 18, because by the time we complete the turn, we will be at 20. Coming up. 18 is there, and let's turn 214. First we turn, and then we put the course there, 124. And now we'll just wait for this line to be here, which means we will be on the radial 124. And we constantly keep tracking this distance, 20, because we want to be on the 20 DME. Now, by doing that geometrical segment that I told you, so every time you then turn 10 degrees, you're actually then cutting a little bit inside that circle.
2,500.
While I show you how to keep tracking 20, you need to make sure that you stay on the 20. There we are. That needle is coming in, so the next one we add 10 degrees here and 10 degrees there. So reset 134. There we go. Now we're on the radial 124. We put 134, and we turn 224. And now if you see the bird, there we go. That's where we are. Next one, 144. If you see that you start cutting inside the 20 miles radius, you can put the next course, the next radial, but then wait until you're at 20 DME again before you turn the track knob. Now we're at 20 and we turn. And here, from here, it's impossible. You can follow a 360 degrees arc. It's impossible to make mistakes because simply you keep adding 10 there, and then you keep adding 10 there. There's no need for any more calculations. Once you've done the first one, that's it. It's all subsequential. Wait for the 20 DME. And we turn 10. 244. And you see, we're on the arc. Until you get to the last one, that's always on the chart. So the last one will be 182 and we will be flying 272. Needle in the center. Next course, we're at 20 DME, so we can turn already. 254. If anything happens, just keep checking that this and this, they're 90 degrees apart. There we go, let's put the 174, which is second to last one. There are quite a lot inside, we're 19.7, so we'll wait before we turn, as you can see here. So we'll wait until we're back on the 20 DME. At this point, I believe we can probably put already the 182, which is the final. There we go, and we'll be turning directly to 272. There we go, 20 DME, 272. Then the next one is going to be a turn, as we said, we're going to intercept the 226 from Kilo Romeo Kilo. And we'll do that by heading 256 for a 30 degrees intercept. Okay, we're now intercepting the 182, so we're exactly here. And we turn, as we said, 256. We now tune the Kilo Romeo Kilo, and the radial will be the 226. There we go. We're very close. So make sure you follow the blue line with the blue pointer. And we need to follow it to 21 DME. There we are. .21 DME. We'll do the same as we did before. So we will need to change to 216 and we will need to turn 90 degrees to 216, which is 326. Sorry, 236, not 216. We're going clockwise. We're going northbound. So 236 and we'll turn 326. We can put that, reset that, 236. The first turn, of course, is 90 degrees from this one, so it's 100 degrees from when we're going. Even simpler. 21 DME. .326, and we put the 236 there. And there we are, 23 DME. Run a 23 DME arc from Kilo Romeo Kilo. Of course, needless to say, if it was the counterclockwise DME arc, it will be exactly the opposite. So you will be decreasing 10 here and decreasing 10 here. Exactly the same. It's pretty obvious. This relay is 251, so we can go directly to 251 and save one step. 251 and then 90 degrees, so 341. What we said we're going to do. It's the last thing. We're going to go and intercept the 76 in or 256 out from, again, Kilo Romeo Kilo. So we don't need to retune it. We're staying on Kilo Romeo Kilo. So once we're on the 251, we'll set 256 and we're going to intercept that. So we'll fly 30 degrees intercept, which is 46. We go 256, 46. Now, flight plan should have sequenced correctly. Exactly, because we followed the procedure very closely, he sequenced correctly and he knows we're going to PEDX. If it wasn't and you were completely manual and the go around wasn't set in the box, you could go on the direct page and then just write PEDX, put it there, direct to insert. At this point, once you insert that one, you'll be on nav going directly to PEDX. And last bit, if of course this one wouldn't be coded there, you will be going to PEDX. You would need at this point only to enter the hold, so you can click next to PEDX, do hold. The radial in is 76, so the inbound course is 76. So you can see inbound to PEDX, 76, right turn, and you insert it, and then you have your hold. And that's it, really. 2 DME arc go around procedure manually flown. That was a long one, but I hope that was useful. And once again, thanks for following. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thank you very much again. Bye now.